Good afternoon and welcome to Sportsweek. I'm Jack Charlton here with all the best sports coverage around Hampshire. Eastleigh were at home against Boredom Wood this weekend, aiming to edge closer to the playoffs. I was there to see how they got on. Eastleigh took on Boredom Wood in the Vanarama National League, aiming to try and move up to 8th in the table. Their opponents on the other hand were trying to record a first win in 5 after a dodgy patch of form. It was a slow start to this encounter, with this Tristan Abrahams free kick being the only piece of goalmouth action in the first 20 minutes. But the game did spark to life, as Jamal Fifield clashed in an off-the-ball incident with Danny Whitehall, and the Boredom Wood defender was given his marching orders by the referee. Boredom Wood were reduced to 10 men. And it would be Tristan Abrahams who would convert from the spot for the Spits to give them a 1-0 lead. The closest Boredom Wood came to scoring was from this free kick, and even then, they didn't have a shot on target. Half-time at the Silver Lake, Eastleigh 1, Boredom Wood 0. And early into the second half, Eastleigh would come close to doubling their lead, as Danny Whitehall narrowly missed the target from close range. And it would be Eastleigh's number 9 who would come close again, this time with an effort from a dead ball situation. The Spitfires would go on to manage the game brilliantly, and record a 6th home win in a row. Full-time at the Silver Lake, Eastleigh 1, Boredom Wood 0.
I thought everyone was bang at it today, and as I say, against a very hard team to beat in Boredom Wood, we've managed to hold on to the 1-0.
So yeah, over the moon. Obviously the league position helps as well. We're still sniffing around that playoff spot because that's where our ambitions are. So long may that continue, and hopefully when the 46th game is done, that we're in the playoffs and we're not packing our bags at the end of the season. We've still got more weeks to play.
So it's a solid performance from the Spits that takes them within touching distance of the playoffs. Lee Bradbury's men host Wrexham next weekend, aiming to be in the top 7 before Christmas. Jack Charlton, Winchester News Online. Basingstoke Town's impressive recent form has taken them within a few points off top spot in the SUN South Central. Taylor Sinclair was at the Winklebury on Saturday to see if they could continue their run against Guernsey FC.
A 17th place Guernsey side was an enticing game for a firing Basingstoke, with 5 wins on the bounce in all competitions before kick-off. And it didn't take long to open the scoring, as Ben Cook found the back of the net after recently returning to the club. 10 minutes later, a 17-year-old Brodie Pert added to his already 2 senior goals, which he got as a brace against Tooting and Mitcham 2 weeks ago, after a finish finding the corner of the net. Before the end of the half, Bradley Wilson's low ball into the box was converted by James Clark, with the number 7 Wilson getting his 3rd assist of the game. The Stokes were fired up from that first half display, as Bradley Wilson's through ball landed at the feet of James Clark in the 46th minute, with the two combining for the second time of the game, getting his 4th of the season to date. Guernsey's afternoon only got worse, with an own goal from Jacob Falaise adding to the scoreline, putting the game fully out of the Green Line's reach. Basingstoke's 6th of the afternoon fell to Bradley Wilson as the forward fired the ball past a scrambling defence, adding to his tally of 13 goals in the league, becoming the top goal scorer in the division. He didn't stop there, as a minute later he added to the scoreline, once again with his 2nd in quick succession. Although Guernsey was dead and buried, an in-form Wilson wasn't finished completing his hat-trick, making it his 2nd in the league season, taking the Stokes to 2 points off first place.
Yeah, it's a good performance, and it's been coming for a while. Someone who's always going to be on the end of that battering. It's just a shame that it's fallen on Guernsey, but I've been in that situation before, and I'm happy dishing them out on the basis of receiving them a couple of times. So yeah, we're proud of the performance, proud of the overall result, and it's another good day in Basingstoke.
So a huge victory for the Stoke at the weekend, but how did Hampshire's other sides get on? Tyler Reynolds has the results.
Winchester City travelled to Hayes and Yeading Town at the weekend in a game that saw them fall to 15th in the league. The Citizens lost 4-0 and now only have 1 win in 8 games across all competitions. Farnborough were pegged back twice against Hampton and Richmond Borough to earn their 3rd draw in 4 league games. But despite being 15th in the table, Borough are now 6 games unbeaten in the league, ahead of tonight's game against Welling United. Aldershot Town picked up their 2nd win in a row against a Gateshead United side that sits 7 places below them. The Shot's top scorer, Justin Amalazor, scored the 2nd goal to see off Gateshead as he picked up his 7th of the season. Sholing FC won again over the weekend against bottom of the league Slimbridge. Dan Mason's second-minute goal was the difference between the two sides, as he scored his 6th goal in 4 games. Sholing have now extended their win streak to 6 games in a row and have kept 5 clean sheets in the process, as they sit 10 points clear at the top of the league. Finally, AFC Totton earned their 3rd win in a row against Bishop's Cleeve, as they remain in 2nd place in non-league Division 1. Scott Rendell and Ethan Taylor's goals gave the Stags all 3 points to keep the pressure on Sholing FC at the top of the table. Totton are now 11 games unbeaten in the league, with their last loss coming against Sholing on the 29th of August.
Women's football has seen a drastic rise in popularity in the last few years, and someone who knows it more than most is experienced Basingstoke Town's Ayala Truelove. Jude Richards recently spoke to the defender to find out a bit more about her journey.
Having walked out on the international stage 13 times for the Israeli national side, including 2 appearances in qualifying for the 2003 Women's World Cup, Ayala Truelove is now an important and experienced figurehead in the backline of a young Basingstoke Town women's team. With knowledge of the game, she has become a vital cog in helping the Stokes achieve silverware this term.
I won with my team at the time, called Wembley. We won the equivalent with the WSL at the time, the Women's Premier League, and we won the League Cup.
As well as having great ability on the pitch, the former Charlton and Southampton footballer's influence on the dressing room has earned her great respect from players and managers alike.
She's very calming out there, calms the players down. Like, it got a bit heated very late on today. Kept it calm out there, being a rock at the centre back there, always speaking to players in their ears and just a little bit of advice, helping them here and there.
She's wise, isn't she? She's a wise lady. She's just always very positive, very calming, very interesting, and yeah, I think she just brings a really good energy to the team.
A lot has changed since the beginning of Truelove's career, with the quality of women's football transforming in the last few decades.
I think up to, say, a year ago, a lot of women would follow men's football and they wouldn't necessarily come to women's football. But now the WSL game is full of women. I think the skill level is massive now compared to what it used to be. I think mostly it's because now we can play in schools and we watch it on telly, you have a role model.
From the arches of Wembley to the Winklebury, Ayala Truelove has enjoyed a fruitful career playing for clubs all across the UK. Jude Richards, Winchester News Online.
England's World Cup journey in Qatar has been pretty smooth so far after advancing to the last 8. However, it looks though the Three Lions will be missing one of their star men for the remainder of the competition. Harry Turberfield explains.
Raheem Sterling has recently left the Three Lions camp, returning to England from Qatar to spend time with his family following the news that his London home had been burgled by armed robbers last Saturday, who were said to have stolen over £300,000 in jewellery. The England star, who started both of the opening group stage games of the World Cup, has returned to the UK and will not be rejoining the England camp until he is satisfied that his family is safe, as confirmed by Sterling himself in a statement released on Sunday. England manager Gareth Southgate has released his own statement, which reads, "Raheem, as our statement says, is having to deal with a family situation, so he's going back to England. We have to give him time to try to resolve that or be there for his family." So a really distressing situation for Raheem Sterling, who will be travelling back to London for the foreseeable future and is seemingly unlikely to feature in England's fixture against France on Saturday as the Three Lions look to advance to the semi-finals of the World Cup.
The Basingstoke Bison have had a tough run of results over the last few weeks, but had another opportunity to turn things around at the weekend as they played against the Telford Tigers. Kurt Hill was our man at the Planet Ice Arena.
The Basingstoke Bison hope to get back to winning form. Their opponents today, the Telford Tigers. Just over a minute in and the Bison had a face-off. And a goal by Banner. The Tigers on a fast counter-attack. Lauday making a double save but not able to make a triple save as Plant equalises for the Tigers, much to the delight of the travelling supporters. Landsberg is through, just misses, but pass back into Barry. Tom Barry scores on his debut for the Basingstoke Bison. Start of the second period now, Rose and Luca passing between themselves. And it's in. Great goal by Luca. But the Bison still look like the better team this period. And they scored through Baird, and the Bison managed to sneak it in again. Debutant Tom Barry scoring 2 goals. The Bison capitalise on some poor passing around the back from the Tigers. And the last goal scored into an empty net.
I had a few harsh words for guys after last weekend. I know players had some kind of in-house meetings between themselves, and I think we saw the result of that tonight. You know, we just have to find that, I talk about it all the time, that level of consistency. And I think tonight we put a 60-minute performance together, and that's what we have to do every single night.
That's all we've got time for this week. Thanks for watching. See you next time.